Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Pinnacle Cup. We've got mouz NXT versus Lyngby Vikings. And mouz NXT, the academy team of the main mouz sports, who have really been going on a tear recently. They're only boasting one defeat, that being to a very dominant Skate. And even then, their matches were so damn close. They're now against Lyngby Vikings, a side which is actually looking pretty strong at the moment. It only seems to be tier 1 teams, absolute tier 1 teams that can take them down. And even then, it's at a battle. Of course, I'm Caster Crema 3. I'm joined by the wonderful Lemon J, our producer today, Mika, our observer, Meeksy, and our admin, Benz. Of course, with our tender hands, we'll guide you through the following couple of hours. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Josh, how are you feeling about this one?
I'm excited. I'm excited to see mouz NXT again as well. It feels like we've kind of covered their whole run. When you take a look at how many games they've played since forming, I think we've actually covered more than 50% of them. So that's quite an exciting one. These guys, mega talents. We've already established the fact over every single time we've casted them that this is a team of 5 young talents from other European rosters. Shui and Shane, they were the young guns of Isacco Boars. They were the ones that people were always watching out for. Torzi, the man that we talked about so often under Budapest 5, the one that we were kind of thinking for quite some time now, when's he going to breach out? When's he going to find himself in an outside of Hungarian roster? JDC really proven himself in Unicorns of Love, the kind of lower tiers of the German scene, and then Zerjan as well has been around the block, played for KPI for a little while, and a really, really mega talented player. We've seen him play very well recently, actually, under this roster. And then Cyclone as well in the coach role. I'm pretty sure he used to coach Tricked, so back in like Tricked's heyday as well. So that's an interesting one too. I'm sure we'll be looking at the Lyngby roster as well, and honestly, it's one to look forward to because Lyngby have made some changes recently, and they're looking pretty dominant. They're looking pretty scary.
That they are. Bird from Sky, Manx, Christo, Rals, and Dafu. Of course, Christo and Dafu are the recent additions, and, well, with Manx being kind of transferred from Copenhagen Flames, this is almost an entirely new side we see here. Of course, Bird from Sky and Rals are kind of the 2 staple players that have stuck around from pretty much since the beginning, and in this case, they're looking to guide this side to victory. Now, what's interesting is that this side have been able to prove themselves as a very strong team consistently. They've been able to almost cement themselves as one of those tier 2 teams that you have to beat if you ever want to progress in tier 2 CS. And in this case, they are on a bit of a tear right now. Victories against Double Pony, Sharks, Navi Junior. And, while you think, okay, well, Navi Junior, Sharks are very good teams, those wins were stomps. We're talking 16-4s. Yeah. Of course, they played against Ents again recently. I think it was only yesterday they played against Ents, and even then, they were close games. 16-12s came in, and it's the sort of circumstance where all it takes is a bit of a winning spree from Lyngby Vikings, and they break into that top 30. They break into that threshold where they're one of the best in the world. I'm really looking forward to this game. I think it's going to be a true test to mouz NXT to see if they can break a more tactically oriented side. Where they lost to Skate, it was a very aim-based team. Now, Lyngby Vikings come in. Let's see if they can win against tactics.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be an interesting one, isn't it? Of course, that Lyngby roster, it's pretty scary. Yeah, let's be real. Obviously, having Christo back in the picture. Now, Christo's been really on and off in this Lyngby Vikings roster and in AGF as well. It seems that he was spotted at like a really young age, was picked up and signed by North, and then he's kind of been loaned out constantly. They haven't really found, or they never really found like a solid place for him in the North roster. Obviously, I don't think North actually have a team anymore, but they never really found like a solid place for him in that North roster. He was never carried over when they all went to Hyenas. And yeah, he was always just kind of loaned out. And I think he might actually still be under contract with North. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but yeah, bringing Dafu in, bringing Manx over from Copenhagen Flames, who have had some, I think, fairly positive changes recently as well. It really does add to this roster. Now, you look at Bird from Sky, and he's kind of been the vintage player of this Lyngby Vikings team. He's actually been playing for Lyngby Vikings, and again, I could be wrong with this, but I think he's been playing for them since about 2018. So he's actually had like a 3-year stint in under this brand and has brought players in and out. And even though he's not necessarily like the captain of this team as per se, I think he's kind of seen so many people come and go under this name, and he's kind of been that solid solid lock. Really, really talented player. Previously picking up that AWP quite a lot. Now we see kind of Christo back in the picture. When we had NATO Safix in the roster as well, NATO Safix kind of took up that primary AWPing duty. But yeah, Bird from Sky, a bit of a jack of all trades. And I think this is a really good team.
Absolutely right. Of course, we're going to get into the veto, though. So let's take a look to see where this battle will be pitched. To start things off, we have Lyngby Vikings taking out Dust 2. No real surprise there. A map they really just don't like playing. We then have Overpass removed by mouz. Vertigo our first pick, and that's a map we haven't seen mouz on before, so that should be a bit of a test for them. Mirage, of course, appears to be mouz's almost their staple ground. It's the map they've played the most, well, that being 3 times of the last 4, the only 4 series they've played. So this will be really quite a close one for them. Of course, leaving our final with Inferno. About we saw mouz. I did play once, but unfortunately lose on. I think this veto kind of favours Lyngby here. Granted, I think it always will. In this case, Vertigo being their first pick is about we see them play all the time. With Mirage being one of their best maps as well, for mouz they have a very tough time trying to topple them on it. And with Inferno being a last map, we've already seen mouz struggle on before. Makes me think that for the Vikings, this should be a 2-1.
Potentially so, yeah. I mean, when you're a brand new team, it's really hard to veto. You don't have... Oh.
Yeah, okay, Josh.
Yeah, right. So I super preemptively turned my camera on today. Normally, I'm not ready, all right? I'm not ready. In the final seconds, I'm like, panic, put my camera on. Today, I was super ready. Had my camera on early.
Right,
and I was like, right, I'm ready to go. But it turns off after 30 minutes. So,
you were
I might
ready.
have shot myself in the foot and jumped the gun there, but a bit too ready. But there you go. As you say, though, we can stop blabbering. We can stop blabbering, Kramer. The match is live. Woo! Let's get underway with this one. mouz NXT, of course, they have proved to us so far that whatever map they're thrown into, they can perform. Now, despite the fact that they're a new team, and obviously vetoing as a new team can be very difficult, they're confident. Now, as we take a look at these Pinnacle odds, despite how new this roster is, they're the favourites against a side like Lyngby, and that's got to be a confidence booster for these boys.
I really like that they're favourites, actually. They've looked pretty strong recently, and for Lyngby Vikings, it will be a slow hit into mid. Looks as though she'll be the first point of contact. And start shooting. Let's get this round underway, and let's see who's going to open up.
Well, a couple of nice early kills. In fact, a single nice early kill from Bird from Sky. Rouse following up with another. And as Shui comes into the party, he takes a headshot too. This has been a bit of a steamroll here from Lyngby Vikings as they blitz their way onto the site. The C4 goes down. And for Shane and JDC, there's nothing to save, but what is there to gain? There's no kit in play. It's only the Kevlar around these USPs. They've got 4 more to find. And with the time pressure mounting, that lack of kit really does complicate things further. I think Shane's just spotted that one just in front of him. He'll be able to pick it up. That means that he has a little bit of extra time to work with, but it also gives him a reason to save. And I think that's the call right now. Get away from that. Get that extra $400 moving forward. Maybe try and strip a couple away too. Get that extra money. Instead, it's Bird from Sky to find another. Christo finishes things off. And that is a very nice round from Lyngby Vikings.
Bit of a hybrid strat, isn't it? We don't usually see them push around through mid, through the back of A, and then hit A from the flank. In this case, that hybrid strat may have given mouz a bit of an early warning system there. Unfortunately, they just weren't able to win the aim duels as Christo and Bird from Sky. Very strong openings indeed. Moving on to the force buy though from mouz, everyone kind of hovering around 700, so not a full investment, but one that's a little bit beefy just so they can try and kill a few members, maybe even save a few weapons, because Lyngby Vikings, they're not taking any prisoners with this. AKs on every single member, Mac 10s come out as well, and that Galil of course on Manx.
This is a solid buy here from Lyngby Vikings. As you say, not taking any chances, going for those rifles early. We know how often you see teams go for Mac 10s and then they're punished by the Deagles at range, and that's why Shui, big headshot, brings things back into a 4-on-4, but more importantly, they have control of the bomb. Bird from Sky tries to work his way back in. Shui tucked in that corner. It's going to be a difficult one to clear. There's so many little precarious angles you have to be wary of, and Shui with the timing, it's perfect, but he can't connect the shots. Bird from Sky finishes him, and it all falls onto JDC's shoulders. 1v4, and he'll be executed by Christo. 2 on the board for Lyngby Vikings, and what a start to a game.
So what, they're looking lethal over on the members of Lyngby Vikings. And while we get ready for a bit of an eco, it means that Lyngby Vikings, they got to play bonus. Unfortunately for them, they did so well on that last round, they don't really have a chance to play bonus. Manx, he's not so much playing bonus, but he's playing ambitious, isn't he? Only a USP going into this round, so he's going to level the playing field against mouz here. And in some cases, he's actually got the firepower disadvantage as some deagles are thrown into the mix from mouz. With no armor on a lot of these members, though, these needs to be first bullet accuracy, first bullet to fire, and if they're not, then they will just die as mouz go for the aggression on ramp. Go from Sky, that nade. Oh, it's perfect. So look at that. So much damage done as Lyngby Vikings, they prepare to just mop up.
Yeah, I think Manx's game plan here is just to keep out the way, let his teammates do all the heavy lifting, and then he's got some extra money going into the next. If he can get a flank going, then it might be perfect, but it seems like there's no one left of the party. Lyngby have blitzed in, found all the frags. Torzy now left on the A site. You might be caught out here by... I don't think so. We'll swap out to the deagle, peek into ramp. Should be taken care of. Rouse takes a bullet to the head, though. That's going to leave a headache. And he could actually find another here. Not quite connecting, though. Christo finishes him off. And Lyngby, they take another round. It's Rouse, the only man that's died so far. He's died twice out of the last 3. But for everybody else, they've kept going since Pistol. And they've got lots of money behind them to show for it.
Yeah, they're looking pretty happy on Lyngby, aren't they? Bear in mind that for JDC, that would be a bit of a confidence builder, that last round there. He was able to do a lot of damage, that being, it was 1 kill, but he pretty much zeroed 2 other players as well, which means that he definitely felt the confidence. It means that armor is going to have to be invested again, and while it won't mean too much of an investment, it's enough to kind of mitigate the economic gains from that round. And as Lyngby Vikings move to their full buy, aggression in mid prepares them to assault this B site.
Well, Christo with that AWP, Manx actually pulled it out early. He had the spawn, but couldn't connect anything, so swaps it over. Lots of util deployed. This is mouz NXT's chance to try and bite back and show that they are a strong team here on Vertigo. Zergent playing around this smoke. Christo holding it, though. And as Manx finds the opening, that's a good start here for Lyngby. Once again, completely untraded. A minute left on this clock, and well, Lyngby are just playing this real slow, not taking any major chances. In the meantime, though, mouz are starting to stack up towards this A site.
A very, very slow start, as you mentioned, from Lyngby Vikings. Having kind of broke that 1 minute mark, they still haven't really revealed themselves. And, of course, with that first blood being drawn, it's JDC to kill Manx. That is over on the aggression, but that's all the way up by Crane on the cross 2 site. So Lyngby Vikings, they know full well they've got space to work with. Shui, he's the man to try and stop them. As that swing, it comes out, but timing is just so crushing for him. He sees the first member, there's that kill. Do they expect Zergent there to have a crack at it? No, they don't, as he's only good for 1, though. Put it down to a 3-on-2 for Torzy and JDC, ready to amount this retake. Let's see what they can do here.
Sometimes Vertigo can just be a really hard map as a new team. Not even because it's not been in the pool for too long, just because the way it's played out. Lyngby, they seem so prepared right now, and as JDC starts to creep his way up, Dafu's there to just swing and execute. And Torzy left in the 1-on-3. Realistically, he needs to fall away and save here, and there we go. The call's made. This guy's a mega talent. He could certainly clutch up around like this, but with no time, no kit, 3 to find that are all hiding, there's not a chance. Saving this AWP will mean that they've got something to work with in the next, but without the money, I don't think there'll be a whole lot. They have got the loss bonus, so I reckon we'll see a half buy come out around him, some pistols, some armor, the full investment going into the next. That potentially allows Lyngby on to 5, and that's a very dangerous lead to give.
You said it perfectly. And right now, I'm interested to see if mouz Sports have got a solution. Because Lyngby Vikings, these rounds have looked pretty dominant. And they've been kind of based around getting an initial pick and just exploding. We now see a lot of util expended in mid, and Lyngby Vikings, despite that, really emphasize control in mid. That nade stack goes down. Torzy on just 7 HP before he even hears any other members. With control in ramp, though, Manxy goes through this, looking to fight JDC, and as he sits to the other side of the smoke, JDC spotted, and he's quickly killed. Man advantage once again, and for mouz, this site is about to have a pummeling.
Ooh. Close shot there from Shane, not connecting. A lot of damage dealt early, and Rouse is going to be kicking himself about that one. Looks to his right, just at the wrong moment. Vertigo still peppering down onto Christo. But Torzy on 7 HP needs to be very careful. And Well, a beautiful headshot onto Bird from Sky to level out these numbers. Shane's still low on health, still needs to proceed with caution, but he's still doing damage. 4 on 4, less than a minute left on this clock. And Lyngby Vikings are starting to question whether B is really the right call here. The bomb's have been dropped, so they actually have to go and retrieve it. It's Christo to go and grab it. He's yet to die here. He's 6-0, hasn't fallen yet since the game started. Rouse still trying to catch out the man that's teasing him towards the A site. And there we go. Finally, they take that advantage. But with 30 seconds left, they need to make a call. They've got the bomb, and they need to be quick with it. There's no point in finding kills and taking map control if you're not getting onto a bomb site. With this little time left, they need to speed this up.
That's a really strong read from Lyngby Vikings there to realise that the AWP's probably posted on B. They just get the hell out of there, and as they just bomb it to this A site, they'll see if they can catch out any rotation. Maybe even if a planter, if they're lucky, if a Shui. That's an opening, but it won't stop the bomb plant. The numbers punched in the nick of time. The wall bang only tickles their foot. He too will meet falls, then it's unfortunately game set match for him, at least in this round, as Rouse on the closest angle, assisted by the quick flash, peeks out, Torsey for the first, leaving Deathu in the 1 versus 2 now. Flash gets deployed just to try and fake a bit of presence, and with that bomb still continuing to tick, the double up setup will work for them. There's a swing for Torsey, there it is, and for mouz, that'll be their first round.
That should not be around that mouz NXT are winning. I mean, that is pretty crazy stuff. Deagle's around the AWP, and they just do damage consistently throughout the round. There's no crazy individual play. There's no crazy 1Vs. It's just continue to do body damage throughout, and then towards the end, that's when they are quite scary, because if you've got a load of players that are tagged up low, single body shot with a Desert Eagle, it might as well be any weapon. All you got to do is point and click. 4-1. mouz NXT finally with a bit of extra cash in the bank. Torsey with that sniper. Shane actually picking up the secondary. Rifles on the rest, healthy utility, kits to work with. They're very, very happy right now, and they're looking to try and close this gap. The issue is JDC. Whilst he's got information, he can't do any damage there in mid.
With this aggression now, it comes down to these remaining members of Lyngby Vikings to spearhead an attack. Rals, he's got the first, and with Buff from Sky there to follow it up. They saw in the hands of Torsey. Can it continue to deliver? Deathu there for the first. Shui swings out, caught out by Manx, forces it into the 4-on-2. The Shui swings out. Deathu continues his rampage, sacking down these members as he can, and as it falls into the 1v4, Lyngby Vikings once again have made it 5, and in this case, mouz won't be able to hit anything on the bounce. Instead, it's a matter of saving that M4 and hoping that the bonus will mean that both Torsey, Shane, and JDC can invest next round.
Yeah, Zerjan has to go and save here. And this is rough. I mean, as soon as things start to go their way, they pull out a full buy. And Lyngby Vikings just go back to winning ways. You see some of these players have literally only died once so far. We're about to go into round number 7. This has been quite a dominant showing so far. Despite the fact that some of these players have only died once, we've actually seen quite a few reinvestments, so not too much money on their side. A lot of damage dealt there by Zerjan, but he's taken a lot in return. And now as he tries to slip away, he'll be executed from behind. It's Bird from Sky who's found that AWP. And we'll see Lyngby take 5. Really, really solid stuff right now. As we go into the 7th, a little switcheroo from Christo and Bird from Sky. I assume we'll see a full buy here from mouz NXT, but Zerjan and Shui are lacking, so maybe we actually see a half buy. If Zerjan had held on to that M4, we definitely would have seen a buy. He'd have dropped to Shui, everybody else could afford to invest, but without it, yeah, I think we'll just see Deagles and armor.
A tough position from a lot of these members, and it's for mouz, it's kind of hard to figure out what should be changed to win for them, because they've spent so long in fighting for a man advantage. We see that with JDC aggressing against Pit. We see that with Torsey fighting in mid. There's such an emphasis on finding a man advantage that in the process, most of the time, they're actually giving it away. What I would really like to see from them is to just back off and literally play the sites and wait for Lyngby Vikings to win an attack. Now, when playing the sites, you can still have mid players. You can still have a player on the cross to make sure that they don't just dive onto B. But in trying to find a man advantage, more times than not, you've just given it away and forced Lyngby to just try and fight for it. In this case, Torzy, 2 quick 1D as it goes into the 3-on-3, and for Lyngby Vikings, as that bomb goes down, mouz sent back to the drawing board, at least for now.
Fire at his feet mean that JDC can't actually push forward and try and deny that plant. The smoke's raining in, but it looks like mouz NXT are going to try and get in front of them. And that is not the right strat. Manx finds 2, Christo finishing things off. And we go 6-1, Kremer. This one actually shaping up to be a little quicker than I was expecting, to be honest. I really did think this would be a very close series. I do think, and I still do think that we'll go to 3 maps. But yeah, the dominance here seems like Lyngby Vikings are really cementing themselves as the better side early. Now, we just saw that Trustly banner pop up, and remember, folks, we're going to be talking about it a hell of a lot throughout today. Trustly, one of our partners here at the Pinnacle Cup, they're a fantastic payment system for you guys to check out. To switch money between accounts, there's no cards or sign-up or anything like that required, and it's just really simple to use. So make sure you check them out next time you're looking to deposit on Pinnacle or anywhere else for that matter.
I'm interested to see how Mirage actually looks, because if Lyngby Vikings can keep this up, I'd argue it'll be a 2-0, and a one-sided one at that. We've got Bird from Sky, who deploys that odd bit of util, just to try and fight for a bit of space, and with Shane having to hide for now, that nade is deployed, lands right onto Shane there. Bird from Sky just destroys him with that, and like that, we enter this 5-on-4. Bird from Sky, boosted up now, is going to have to jump up to wood platter. Can JDC stop them though? Open hand, and the second AWP in this setup. mouz, at least they draw blood with it. Down to the 4-on-4, these flashes go off, and Lyngby Vikings continue to pepper his position with though.
They kind of reset here after going into this 4-on-4. Regroup, take some time, then regress. The issue is they've wasted a lot of time on this clock. There's 30 seconds left to tick, and they are going to hit towards this B side of things. The flashes are lacking, so JDC can comfortably get away. He's actually going to regress through this smoke, but as the splash finally comes through, it does force him right back. The mollies and the smokes will keep him out of position and allow this C4 to go down. A well-placed incendiary will slow down this retake as well. And Christo, right through the smoke, really clean stuff. Man advantage Lyngby, they've got this C4 down, now they just need to hold it.
In this case, holding is proving to be the biggest issue. Xerxia reveals himself on the flank. It's JDC to hit a wonderful shot, and Xerxia doubles down. mouz, they make it 2. Now, mouz, they've, credit where credit's due, they have been able to find rounds here. My worry for them, though, is that they haven't been able to find them consistently. And Lyngby Vikings have shown that they are very strong when it comes to just resetting them straight after a victory, making sure they stay in their place and making sure they keep their momentum. Now, if mouz can double the round count here, if they can, you know, go 6-3, 6-4 down, then they're really going to start looking quite scary. They just need to be able to do it, though. And, of course, because Lyngby Vikings have got all the money in the world, that means that we're going to see this reinvestment and another tough round for them.
The double AWP setup in play once again here for mouz NXT. They're going to be real happy about that last. In fact, they were able to take it in the retake scenario for what I think is the first time so far. Torzy forced back by the mollies, though, and it kind of seems like Lyngby have just been in control here with all of their utility and everything with it. Really have been in control of the situation most times. Torzy, big opening kill onto Dafu, though. Despite the fact that he was on the off angle, Torzy adjusts beautifully. And he's still sticking around, still wants this secondary. He knows that there's another man here. They've been making lots of noise, and Bird from Sky still is. And there we go. Beautiful stuff. Torzy almost cementing the round just there, single-handedly.
I'll tell you what, this is starting to look very one-sided, actually, for mouz. And while Ralls gets a trade, it's only momentary. It's Manx left in a 1v4 as he comes up from scaffold. Want to be able to clear the player on sandbags. So far, no, he hasn't. Shui hopes for timing here, and as he swings out, it'll be quickly seen, and Manx just doesn't react. I believe that's the curse of 4x3, Josh. As mouz, now with a third on the board, they're going to start putting a bit of pressure onto the Vikings, as the Vikings with, I think, just enough for an investment, but they'll be scraping the bottom of the barrel, that's for sure.
You know, I just can't bring myself to do it. I've always had players telling me, how can you play native? You got to play 4x3, blah, 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 over and over again. But it messes with my head, Kremer. I can't deal with the fact that there might be players on my screen that I can't see. I don't know how you do it. To be fair, I used to play 4x3. but the amount of times you have little moments like that, I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah, it's... I don't know, just preference. It feels a bit comfy, to be honest with you. Xerxian deleted by that flash. I think that was Shuey, actually. He ruined him with the team flash, and as it falls into a 5-on-4... Let's see what can be done with the retake here. Shuey, he pushes in. The flash... Oh, no,
Ooh.
Josh. Oh, no. That is pretty rough. And as it goes into a 4-on-3, Mal's left shaken, almost.
I mean, he's gained info and he's done a lot of damage. The issue is that info doesn't really mean anything. Whilst he's spotted 4, he hasn't spotted 5. So it's not like anyone can aggress towards B or anything like that. Big couple of kills from Shane, though, finishing off those low HP members. But with the trades coming through, Christo finding another onto Torzi. A 2-man advantage here for Lyngby. JDC in the 1v3. And once again, another one of these situations that just isn't really winnable. The molly goes down, which will prevent him from denying any kind of plant. And if he is going to go for a peek, it will have to be from heaven, which I'm sure someone's holding. And they are. It's actually Christo. Bang on the angle.
Here's the thing as well, Josh. It's not even mouz are going to lose this round. They keep the orb, whatever. It's they don't have money next round to invest. So JDC, if he loses this orb, we're not going to see an orb in the hands of, say, Torzi for a good 2-3 rounds. And unfortunately, Torzi, he is that man you kind of want to have an orb. He's very similar to Copenhagen Flames in that regard, where once Nikodos has that orb, once they're set up with utility, rifles, all the works, they're a almost impossible team to beat. But the second they drop to pistols, they really, really struggle. And not so much in the sense that, of course, everyone struggles with pistols, but, you know, teams like, I'm trying to think of aggressive teams like Skade, for instance, on SMGs, on FAMASs, they are still very damn strong. Whereas for mouz, whereas for Copenhagen Flames, they just can't win with them. And they just need to bite the bullet and just eco again and again until they can whip out rifles. And in this endeavor, I think that's where Lyngby Vikings have got all...
Potentially so. I think mouz have got a little more chance here with the pistols than, say, Lyngby do. Purely down to the fact that they've got a couple of really, really talented aimers. Shuey, always crisp with the deagle. Torzi as well. And there you go. You see a couple of early kills coming through. We did actually see the first round that mouz put on the board was in a deagle round very similar to this, where they had that hero orb, they had the deagles on the rest. Now JDC able to take the AK and Xerxian with another. This round actually might be another winning one. There you go. Torzi, one more. This is a very, very strong round from mouz. I'm quite impressed.
Shane? Yeah, Josh, I'll take everything I just say back. It's on it. Yeah, mouz nuts with the Eagles. And of course, as the Trustly banner appears on your screen, remember, Trustly, another site we're going to be talking a lot about. So essentially, Trustly is a way to make your payments flow very quickly from account to account, because when speed is the name of the game, you don't want it to be disrupted by the slow playing experience. So you can use Trustly. It's no card, no app download, no registration. In fact, you see how it links in here, Josh. You can use Trustly at pinnacle.com/odds, where you'll find the latest in-play offerings for mouz NXT versus Lyngby Vikings. Remember though, sports, they should be fun. So only play with what you can afford, and to keep you safe, our full terms and conditions will apply. Lyngby Vikings on a bit of an eco here, Josh.
They are, yeah. In fact, it's more than a bit of an eco. It's quite literally a full eco. Glocks all round. No one allowed to over-invest into anything, really. I'm quite surprised. Rouse has got 4k. He definitely could have bought some kind of pistol here or something. But I suppose there's that discipline. He says, right, well, I've got some extra money, so that means that I'll be able to drop an AWP and still buy myself some utility. It makes sense. Minute 10 on this clock, though, and realistically, the jackpot is to get a bomb plant. They're going to try and do so over on the B site, but it's being guarded here by Shane, and he seems to be quite aware of what's going on.
Get ready for his follow-up. Shane trying to follow up with that util. That first volley goes down. And as he expects the engagement behind him. Lyngby Vikings maybe hoping for the element of surprise on these pistols, but looks like mouz pretty much unfazed, really. There's been no fake elsewhere, so there's no kind of chance for them to go to sleep, really. Instead, it's Torzi already holding the angle. As soon as these pistols swing on him instantly, and that should alert them to the oncoming attack. There's the run boost. It doesn't work as Purple Scott's legs down. Shuey, he's good for 1, 2, 3. He's out of ammo, so he switches to the pistol to make it 4. And with a quick clean up, mouz, they make it 5 as they start covering the distance really between them and Lyngby, as it looks like we might have a bit of a more contentious game here.
Nice little stat pad there as well from Shuey. Going from being 5-9 to now 9-9, so not bad at all. Scoreline starting to close up as well. That freebie round really does them some favours. And for Lyngby, back onto the bye. Christo with that AWP. Mank's actually down to a Galil, so bit of a rough one for him. I assume it was Rouse that dropped that AWP over to Christo. These guys just don't have that max loss bonus. They've been winning so many rounds here, and it's starting to plague them now that they're losing. Torzy, big opening kill, and he's still sticking around as well for more. Spots the legs. What an incredible flick up onto Manx's head. If it wasn't the head, it wouldn't have been a kill because it was through the tarpaulin, but the headshot means that it's deadly. 2-man advantage, and Torzy once again the man to do the magic.
Tell you what, that's definitely a way to secure a 2-man advantage, isn't it? Shuey, he's once again on sandbags. Once again, mouz. It looks like Lyngby Vikings haven't learned. This is twice how he's played this position, and it looks like it'll be twice he gets a kill from it. They're holding for his left side peak, but if he just swings on ramp, then Sky will die here. And, well, there you have it. Rouse will be sure he trades, but when you're 2 men ahead, of course you'll take trades like that. Torzy now ready to jump up from Tetris. He'll have a flash from one of his teammates to assist him with this, and as that bomb gets planted, there'll be that first nade, and as Rouse is shut down by Xertion, it all falls onto Dafu. Picks up that bomb. Torzy finishes the job. 7-6, the scoreline now goes, as mouz actually fighting to take the lead here.
They might actually be able to win the half, you know. Bearing in mind there's no money left on Lyngby Vikings. We'll see this go 7-7, almost certainly. And then things start to get complicated. Here's that second shot. I mean, I'm just in awe of that one. That is so incredible.
Yeah.
The fact he gets away with that, I mean, Torzy's so good. 14-7 he's currently sitting. I think he might actually be top fragging on the server. Really impressive stuff.
Absolutely.
Running into mid. A lot of damage dealt as well.
It's constant harass damage, isn't it? They're not allowing mouz to even have room to breathe here. Or Lyngby Vikings even have room to breathe. As they swing out mid, JDC, he'll be called into action. Torzy there to assist him, and Torzy just insane with that AWP, isn't he? And it's like every time we cast him, I kind of think, how on earth have we not seen him before? Like, how on earth have we not seen him on this level before? Because he is... He's a little gem, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. I mean... We've definitely talked about him in the past.
We have, but like at this sort of level, you know, like Pinnacle Cup level, I'm kind of happy that we now see him because, well, he's bloody earned his place, hasn't he? Look at him, laser-like focus. Yeah, he's enjoying himself. He's just happy to be here.
Yeah, he definitely looks like a happy player, doesn't he? Sometimes you see
can
angry
tell, can't
players. You? Yeah,
you're an angry player, aren't you, Josh?
I am an angry player.
You're a very angry player. Oh, I wonder if there are many angry pro players. I feel like you have to be quite happy with CS in order to be a pro player.
There's loads of angry pro players.
No, but I mean like actually like angry to the core. So you have players who can get tilted, but that's not really the same thing, is it?
I suppose, but... I'm trying to think. In Counter-Strike, not so much. In other games, you get it real bad. Like, if you ever watch, like, competitive like, Gears of War or whatever, they are at each other's throats constantly. They really do go at it. They are angry people. I learned my only
Spanish from Gears of War, which was "Que pasa," which is what happened. They would shout at one another constantly. And that's how I learned. That's my start, beginning, and ends to learning Spanish.
Right. Yeah, it's like a big like Brazilian scene for it, isn't there? So that's where that comes from.
But considering Brazilians speak Portuguese.
Oh yeah, no, you're right.
no, it was actual Spanish. There was a Spaniard presence in the Gears of War scene.
Fair enough. Well, we see that Trusty ban out once again, and we've seen it a fair few times this game. But Trustly, remember what it is. It's a payment system, and when speed is the name of the game, don't let your playing experience be disrupted by slow payments. Choose Trustly to make your payments flow quickly from account to account. No cards, no app download, no registration required. It's a really, really brilliant alternative to all of the other payment systems that are out there because it's just so easy to use. Now, Lyngby Vikings, they were able to close out that half 8-7. I don't think they're going to be massively happy with that. I mean, they'll definitely be slightly happy with the fact that they finished it off at the end. But yeah, bearing in mind how this started, I think they wanted more.
Absolutely right. Rouse, it's the shoulder peek by Elbow. Sees them coming. Has to tap down the odd member when he can, and as they both sit behind sandbags, Rouse onto JDC gives a very strong opening for them. As damage is done on the flank, Rouse, he doubles down. Oh, he makes it 3 now. Ready to swing back out. It's Cristo to make it 4, and while Shuey, left alone in this endeavour, is left in the 1v4. Caught out by Daphne, finished off in the process. And for Lyngby Vikings, that'll be a 9th as they stay ahead of mouz NXT, but only just.
And that's kind of foot back on the gas, isn't it? We've slowed down a bit. We pick up that last round. We keep 4 players alive, which is a little bit of a confidence builder. And then blitz into the pistol and do what we did in the first half. Definitely what you want to see from them. Potentially a full eco on the cards here. Yeah, it is. For mouz NXT, not getting that bomb plant, they say, okay, well, we can't really justify going for a buy here. So let's just drop down to an eco. We'll gift them 10. But it means that we can try and fight back earlier. We can pull out the big rifles in round number 18. I like this. What it does mean, though, is for Lyngby Vikings, they should be able to build up a bit of an economy early and keep these rifles that they've got in hand, too.
Oh, here comes the attack. Daphne sees him coming. Good for 1. Only good for 2 before he's finished off. And, well, Cristo's there to assist. He has a play in 4 of those kills, and Zertion's left alone on this B site. He's going to swing out only to also meet his end here. Bear in mind that this is Lyngby Vikings map pick. The fact that mouz have kept it so close is actually pretty strong by them. I also like how mouz go for the eco. It means that this round we're going to see the rifles come out, and it's kind of a very quick way of switching to the eco, realizing that they need rifles if they want to break this defense.
Absolutely, yeah. AK's out on every man. Decent amount of utility to work with too. This is really where they need to step it up, though. It's kind of been the battle between Torzio and Cristo, the 2 snipers on either side, and also what I would consider as actually the 2 star players. 10-7, Cristo getting some util down early into mid. The molly, whilst it doesn't do any damage, it's definitely a deterrent. That nade, surely to follow off of contact, and ooh, the timing. Has he spotted the elbow there? He might have spotted the elbow. Deploys the HE. Doesn't do much damage at all, but he knows they're coming. That information now been gained. And I'm sure he rotates a man over.
Oh, Cristo, he knows. He's just holding the boost. He sees that first swing. He hears that flash. He doesn't play any util of his own, though. Instead, he's continuing to wait for the jump. He's almost expecting the boost here. And instead, Zertion having to be the first man call to action. Shane and Torsey double down, though. And for every kill that Lyngby find, mouz are able to respond in 2-fold. As Torsey makes it 3-fold there. But from Sky deleted with his swing. And now for Rouse, he has to be the one to deliver, and while Max sees that it's just going to be a hit onto B, he gives away his position there. He abandons his post, leaving Rouse in a 1v3. I think this should be a 8 for mouz here, unless something miraculous happens.
I'm quite impressed with their ability here to stay in this. Yeah, not allow Lyngby to pull away. As soon as the guns come out, it's like, right, we're right back in the picture. Let's put our 8th on the board, and that's what they've done. 3v1 here for Rouse. I'm sure it's one that he goes for. I can't imagine he saves in this scenario, but with doing damage onto Shuey means that now they know where he is. Great nade onto Torsey. She now makes this very winnable as he jumps down, takes Shuey, and maybe I spoke too soon, Kremer. 1 versus 1. There's a kill on Rouse. He's still got a smoke to work with, and he should know where JDC is lingering, but JDC is just too quick to the trigger. Nice swing, nice headshot, and there we go. It's 8 on the board for mouz NXT. Maybe a little close for comfort, but they take it regardless.
It's supremacy of aim that helps them there, but I tell you what, that looked pretty close for a moment. And as we see only 2 rounds separate these sides, honestly, I think mouz probably win Mirage, looking at how confident they are now. Dare I say it, winning Vertigo's on the tables here. I regret saying 2-0 Lyngby Vikings earlier, because I actually doubt that'll happen.
You actually said 2-1.
I said 2-1 in the pre-game and adjusted it after.
Ah, okay.
I adjusted it in the wrong direction.
I mean, Bearing in mind how they started, I'm not surprised. I definitely agree with you, but yeah, mouz are starting to really pick this up. A couple of beautiful kills from Dafu there with that MP9. But bearing in mind the economy that they have behind them, now that the numbers have been taken back into a 3-on-3, I think this should be mouz's round for the taking. Torzy finding another. They realise that there's a stack in place towards this B site. They take a step back. Torzy actually double dipping. I like that. But as Christo trades him, Zerjan and Shane say, okay, let's get out of here. We know where he is, so we don't need to keep beating into him. Shane does stick around and waits for Christo to peek right into his crosshair. Great headshot, upgrades to the AK-47, and mouz really closing this gap. 10-9 now. I
was about to say that in a 1v2 with a scout against a player who's already low HP, that is a very winnable round for him. However, in this case, it isn't, and there's only one round separates the two sides. That Trusty banner appeared on your screen. Remember, we're having Trusty a lot this game, aren't we? Because remember, when speed is the name of the game, you don't need to let your playing experience be disrupted by slow payments. Of course, Trusty can be used to make payments over on pinnacle.com/odds. It's no cards, app download or registration. So remember that sports should be fun, so only play with what you can afford to lose, and to keep safe, our full terms and conditions do apply. But Trusty been our wonderful partners over at the Pinnacle Cup, so give them the love they deserve.
I've kind of established that I think it's like per map. Like one map will get loads of Trusty banners, the next map will get loads of Pinnacle banners.
Oh, I see.
That's what I noticed yesterday. But yeah, we'll see. Back down to a funky buy here for Lyngby, and I'm actually very surprised that they've force bought here, especially after the last round.
Shane trying to follow it up. Yeah, hasn't done so for now. Steadbird from Sky. Ready to take the high ground. Hasn't done so yet, and instead, so we'll be seeing a slow start from mouz. Once again, just ready to go up from ramp, but Manx will be joined by Dafu in the response. As the flash goes out, there's the swing. It's timed to perfection there. The BD50 of Manx caught out by Zerjan, leaving us into the 4-on-2. And as they swing into the Deagle, low HP, unfortunately, means that both from Sky still has to hit at least one bullet. And while Christo can respond by picking up the M4, it's something to wield in the next round. For mouz, we're going to finally see this equalizer.
It's kind of been a long time coming, hasn't it? But finally it comes through, and I'm almost happy to see it. It's almost like a bit of a sigh of relief here for mouz. They've been on the back foot the whole time. Finally, they get to this point where they can maybe relax a little bit, a tiny bit of weight off their shoulders. Not fully. They've still got a long way to actually take this map. But bearing in mind it's their opponent's pick, it'd be huge if they could win it. Christo trying to save this M4. Even if he does, though, they're not going to be able to invest too heavily around it. But, I mean, come to think of it, Lyngby are starting to accumulate a bit of a loss bonus.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, they are. And it means that next round they bear a little bit of teeth. It means that they have something to work with, but it's still a tough spot for them. It's still an almost unwinnable position. And while in this, I say a winnable position, at least for this round, because they still need to fully go around the M4. It means that we're going to see mouz take the lead, and mouz actually opting for a timeout here. I actually really like that.
Yeah, it is. Well, I kind of like it, but they're going to be up against an eco in this round. I don't know. I'd maybe prefer to see it next round. I don't know what they'd be talking about here. Maybe it's just like a little break of pace. Maybe it's just a little opportunity
momentum builder,
have a chat. Yeah, a little momentum builder. Say, right, come on, guys, we're doing really well. Let's keep this up.
Well, they've got four, haven't they?
Yeah, I suppose. And maybe they're just kind of preparing what they're going to do in the next buy-up, because this one should be a breeze for them. I can't imagine Lyngby force up again.
Yeah, I would be surprised if they do, because right now they have got they're guaranteed a buy next round if they can hold it. So as we get ready for a follow-up, we have aggression once again ready to be shown, and in this case it's on pit with a couple of members in position. Haven't seen a kill yet, and as ramp control is slowly being taken, Rals, the man with the M4, not really being given the opportunity to draw blood yet.
He needs to be careful. Shui's on hot pursuit. Good flash. No one's there to duel, though. But Rouse instead will fall to Torzy, the man that's been finding so many of these entry kills. As we see the rotations come in, doesn't look like anyone's going to cross mid. Manx actually plays the dangerous game. Jiggle peeking. Shane sees too much of a head, and if you let him see too much of your head, he will almost certainly tear it off. 5 versus 3. Bird from Sky has somehow managed to retrieve the M4 out of no man's land. But does it really mean a lot? All of his teammates are falling like flies.
That they are, and as we see the position from this side, Shane sat in mid, just awaiting this team to attack him, and with no follow-up yet, there's a brief hold from this side, and well, the engagement comes through. What can they do in response with Bird from Sky? Again, running down the clock, a very, very slow game so far. Very slow round from either side. Neither wanting to commit to anything just yet, and because Lyngby Vikings, they sit in position. We've got Dafu and Bird from Sky who, I mean, Dafu could maybe hunt, maybe try and retrieve a weapon. Instead, he's actually going to become a bit of a bodyguard, maybe even a burglar alarm for Bird from Sky, who clings to the M4. Bear in mind that with that M4, there's nothing else, so it is about 3k save, and as he's tagged down instantly, it looks like he may really be pressed to save this. He reveals himself. Dafu, he's also got out by Torzi, who just cleans up, and you know how we always talk about Torzi, Josh? He's currently going 23 to 12.
Wow, I mean, that is big. That is a big, big performance from the man. I pointed him out earlier when I think he was on 14, 15 kills. And yeah, he's just continued that kind of pressure and just gone above and beyond. I love that burglar alarm analogy. I'll be your burglar alarm, Crummer. I'll stand outside your house, and if there's any burglars, I'll go woo, woo, and then I'll probably get stabbed.
The amount of alarms that have gone off in your house, Josh, while I've been there has just been... But no, you're in a new house now, aren't you? Have you fitted your fire alarms properly?
I don't even know if we have one. I think we probably do.
I
reckon we have to. No, I think we do. I think we do.
You definitely need one.
Yeah, no, I think we do. It hasn't gone off yet though, which is good.
It's
because they're not supposed to go off unless there's a fire.
But how do you know it works if it doesn't go off?
I don't know.
After
it goes off when there is a fire.
After this, grab a lighter, hold it under it, and see if it goes off.
Okay, I will. Just for you.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, if you from last time we didn't really know how to fix it, did we? It consisted of you hitting it off the wall, and that's what I'm. You ever pulled up on that?
What was that?
We ever pulled up on that?
Yeah, they came and did like an inspection of the house when we moved out, and I never actually put it back up. I forgot, and it was just like on the floor. And they did question it, but I just put it back up, and it was okay. It was all fine.
How did you explain that you didn't know how to turn it off, so you hit it with a baseball bat? But how do you explain that?
I didn't explain it like that. Is how is Rouse? Does Rouse think it's on the wrong bomb site?
That's rough.
I'm confused. I'm not sure what he's just gone and grabbed there. I think for a second there he did actually think it was on B. Now he realizes it's over on A. He doesn't have a kit though, is the major issue right here. No. So he throws that smoke. He's about to tap the bomb. Surgeon goes for the swing though. And I actually really like that from Surgeon. Very, very smart stuff. That's going to be 12 for mouz, and they're really, really taking control here. Lyngby don't have enough money to buy. I think this will be a half investment. This could even be 13 for mouz NXT.
A really strong position from mouz, actually. A 5-round spree. And Torzi currently on 6-0 in duels against Bird from Sky. That is rough, isn't it? And Bird from Sky's the RGL. Torzi is the playmaker, so it kind of makes sense. But when you put it as a statistic, it still looks quite scary, doesn't it? Because Torzi, granted, I think he is positive in duels against everyone at the moment. And, well, Christo, no exception. A bullet pierces his skull. And as it does so, Torzi gives them a man advantage. You might make it 2, actually, if someone's feeling optimistic.
I just went to take a drink and forgot there's this great big mic in front of me and just smacked the glass into it.
That's impressive.
Yeah, well, utility continues to
I'm surprised I
run
haven't
down.
done that before, actually.
Yeah, I think it's the first time for me as well, but I don't know. I'm half asleep today, Cromwell. I'm half asleep. Yeah, newbie cast a mistake.
It is. Wake up. We've got Shane in mid. He knows full well that Max is going to be aggressing onto him. And while he can't commit to it yet, he knows that there'll be a fight soon. As the follow-up comes through, Shane and Shuey, the Polish wombo combo, both drawing blood here. Zershid able to chime in, and as Shuey falls to Rel, it's all silver linings. Sure, he doubles down, but two players in exchange for a round. Look at the momentum mouz have now. Bear in mind that I believe that's their 6th in a row. At this stage, Lyngby Vikings are really in trouble.
They really are, yeah. We see this banner come up, and I mean, it's another opportunity to talk about our partners at Trustly. Trustly, it's a new payment system, basically, and the payments, they flow really quickly from account to account. It's a really good alternative to the other systems out there that we all have horror stories with. There's no cards, no app download, no registration. Really, really convenient service to use, especially when you're placing any bets at Pinnacle. Of course, as we get back into round number 24, the big guns back out. A very, very important round for either side. I'd say more so for Lyngby, and that's not the start Christo wants.
You're absolutely right. It's just, though, just to lose it. What, same player, once again, losing their head. Torzy, he's just a man on a mission, isn't he? And while we get ready to see another response from this side, this time it's Shane in mid, expecting the aggression of Dafu. We've got Purple Sky tagged down by the utility elsewhere. And for now, it is all down to timing, and in this case, it's Torzy once again to deliver. This man is just on fire. Shane, he'll peek into mid, he'll try and get the rotating member, and oh my word, that is timed to perfection. Torzy now expecting aggression, and for the right reason. I mean, aggression is coming, but it may not matter as Shane and Shuey once again deliver in unison, giving a 1 versus 5 for Manx now, as Lyngby Vikings are just starting to fall short.
When you get into Torzy's position, and Torzy seems to be in this position quite often, to be honest, you kind of get into a different mindset. You almost become scared to die because you know how much impact you're having. When you're literally getting multi-kills every round, you're getting 2, 3 kills, it's like massively bolstering your team. Yeah, you're very worried when you take that initial AWP duel. If I lose this duel, we'll probably or potentially lose the round, because who else is going to step up and find these multi-kills? But consistently, he's just prevailing. Every single time he takes these duels, he's winning them. Christo's really struggling in these last few rounds. Manx has done a good job at doing some damage there. I think his primary goal was to hold on to that AWP, but mouz would not allow it. They have so much money behind them that they could afford to lose tons of weapons there just in pursuit of that sniper. So, for Lyngby Vikings, I'm not sure what's on the cards here. We'll see another buy-up, but it's weak as hell. They're playing for the win right now. They don't want to play for OT, but that means they're massively sacrificing firepower.
Absolutely are, and I'm not sure if you saw the odds from partners at Pinnacle. I say partners, they're the ones who run the whole thing. The odds from Pinnacle appear on your screen. They were fairly one-sided. I think it's about 3-1 in favour of mouz right now, and Assertion is just forced back. The MP9s actually show a lot of aggression now. Torzy, I love how even with the AWP, he's the one leading the charge here. He's awaiting the follow-up. He knows the push is coming. And laser quick to shut down Dafu. He does fall to the molly, though. And while that is going to be a very strong position, both from Sky through the smoke does a fair bit of damage, but doesn't kill Shuey, so they may actually expect him to not be here as he gets ready for a follow-up. That smoke dissipates. There's the peek, and while he's good for 1, it goes back to the 3-on-3. He backs off, and instead, mouz turn their attention once again to Pit, and subsequently to Manx, who tries to hold this beast site single-handedly.
Rouse has managed to upgrade to an AK, but for Christo and Manx, it's still the MP9 and FAMAS in play. Not the weapons of choice for sure. Rouse low HP as well, so he needs to be careful when he does eventually take a duel. Nothing coming in just yet, though. Manx, he realises he's prematurely rotated off of B. The flash, it's perfect. He's being pressured down, does find one. Christo with another elsewhere, and it all falls onto JDC. Knows that his first opponent's low, though, and he's got plenty of time and space to get this bomb down. Christo was spotted just a few seconds ago, deep in ramp. So for JDC, I almost feel like this utility is a little bit premature. Christo's absolutely miles away. But that gives him time and space to fall back to the B stairs if he wants to, maybe towards that E box, and play this post plant.
In an AWP on AK, the AWP does have the advantage, but JDC, he has the element of surprise. Christo, if he misses, it's over for him. And as he swings out, he taps that bomb once. JDC, aware that he's not on it, and as he tries to spam that smoke, you should see the head of Christo, but in mid-air, he's taken down, but there's just not enough time. mouz, they're going to make it 15-10 now. Lyngby Vikings, I mean, they finally have money. Just. I guess Christo can drop Bird from Sky, can probably go to a FAMAS, and it's something to work with, but this, I believe, is now 7-8 rounds in a row for mouz, as they have just been unstoppable.
There's actually just nothing Christo can do there. I mean, there's no way he can sit in the smoke and hold a 10-second defuse. It would have been ballsy. I would have loved to have seen it, but realistically, it's not going to happen. And then, yeah, taking the fight, there's just no way. There's no way. As soon as he taps that bomb, even if he gets the kill there, which he does, there wasn't enough time to get that defuse in without the kit. It's 15-10. mouz NXT now trying to close. They've got 5 chances to do so. For Lyngby Vikings, it's overtime or bust. Now, keeping that AWP in the last and finding 4 kills does give them some extra money to work with. So we do see a decent investment behind them. As mouz NXT aggress towards the B stairs, they need to be wary of Manx in this corner, and they are. JDC, that's so quick.
It's insane, isn't it, how they clear angles like that. Dafu is good for one, fully blinded in the process, though. Wow, he swings into flashes as well. So now when he just goes to the follow-up, he's eventually able to shut down Shane, but as he now sits by Hollow Pillar, he doesn't have a way to leave. Shui flanking from main, though. He's going to be peeking into Rouse on sandbags. Does he expect this position? And I really doubt it, as swings past. There's that kill. Rouse able to deliver. Now's the 4-on-2 when I think Desertion and JDC, this is going to be a tall order. So that second flash goes down. JDC's able to dodge it. Rouse trying to buy time. Eventually he's killed, but the remaining members, they're now there to hold. There's that MP9, gets ready to swing into them. And Orpa of Dafu draws blood. Falls down to Desertion. He falls to the Orpa. It's 11 for Lyngby Vikings at long last, but it took a while to get there.
Absolutely, yeah, and it feels like a couple of small mistakes and a couple of, not even mistakes, it's like the duel between Rouse and Shui, it's purely a timing game. Whoever's looking the right way at the right moment, and Rouse is counting his lucky stars that he came out on top in that one. The same goes for Dafu over towards that B side of things. Great first kill, then he's fully flashed, and he is very lucky that he's managed to survive there while blinded. Realistically, mouz should have been able to take care of him. That would have opened up the site, and maybe we would have seen a very, very different round, and maybe even the end of the game. But we go 15-11. Still plenty of money here for mouz NXT, so they'll go for an investment in this one, and potentially even one more afterwards if needs be. For Lyngby, still a decent buy behind them too. They actually kept a fair few players alive last round, so not many reinvestments required.
Well, we wait for this follow-up. It's util in the hands of Lyngby Vikings, gets deployed, and it's early control being fought for now when Shane looks to spearhead the control in mid. Let's see if he can shut down Dafu for now. He just holds for aggression as mouz. They seem a bit shaken now as they just go completely quiet.
You know, I'd love to see the elevator spam actually come through in a pro game.
One day, Josh. One day.
I've seen it in Face-It matchmaking. I've been absolutely mesmerized by it, but in a professional setting, I've never seen it.
Yeah, it is. I suppose it does give your position away pretty significantly, doesn't it?
I suppose, but you're kind of always expecting someone to be around there anyway as a T,
That's
and
true.
it doesn't really give you a huge advantage because by the time you're out mid, they could pretty much be anywhere. So I don't know. Maybe it's just a bit of a waste of time. But Rouse, big opening kill. Lyngby desperate to try and hold on here, and all of those early entries really do cement that. Manx behind this pillar has to be careful. It looks like he'll be flashed into some kind of peak kit. As Dafu supporting, creeping up close. He's playing a dangerous game though, and the dangerous game doesn't pay off.
Another quick kill as it falls into the 4-on-2. Torzy able to trade though as he crosses on site, but from Sky reveals himself, and Torzy another missed shot means he has to take the engagement on Shane. It's Christo to save, and well, maybe Vikings, they still bare teeth, they still look pretty damn strong, but are they strong enough to make it 15-15? Are they strong enough to equalise? And for now, I still have my doubts, as we see that these banners appear on your screen. Of course, the Pinnacle odds still favouring mouz by quite a distance. Remember, those are the series odds there, Josh.
Yeah, it kind of shows that they have confidence in them closing out Vertigo, and then possibly even closing out that second map. 15-12, still a chance that Lyngby take it to overtime. Last round, it's really on Manx' shoulders. Really incredible stuff to find 2 kills and a dink onto the third as well. If he doesn't output that kind of damage, then I think it just ends up being game over. Rouse, once again, on the aggression, finds the opening pick. And it's just worth its weight in gold. If he can do that consistently, then Lyngby have got a chance here. But he needs to do it a couple more times at least.
Oh, we'll wait this follow-up. Dafu. Shoulder peeking for now. No aggression yet, though, and as the engagement comes in, the Vikings already a man up. Don't want to risk foregoing it as they just hold position, and as Dafu heads back to mid, Manx will be the one to call to action here. And while fully blinded, Dafu's there for the first. Torsey, Kenny Trey, the man who has proven to be the miracle worker for mouz, has to try and be so now. There's an ult for him to post on. That molly means Shui's forced to the high ground as he tries to aggress into Manx. Will timing favour him now as the flash goes off. He's just waiting for them. He's daring them to peek into him. Torsey, well good for 1, is down to 3 HP in the process now. That bomb goes down. Shane punished for it with a quick kill. Shui on the close angle is something to work with, but Dafu sees him. He reacts in time, and well, that's why you don't play 4x3 apparently. As Torsey now left in a 1v4 with only 3 HP, he might just go save.
It's definitely the right call to make. I mean, they're not going to have money to buy into the next, so we will just see pistols around him anyway, but that's a big round from Lyngby. To be completely honest, it's a big round from Lyngby. We did see mouz kind of struggling against Skade the other day to close. For their sake, I really don't hope we see the same here. It's 15-13. They've had plenty of chances to finish this off. They are going to call a quick timeout here. I really do agree with this. I like the fact that they're not leaving it too late. They've still got another buy-up in the next where they can inflict the damage and close this out. If they don't, though, Kreml, we're going to further rounds, and this will be a day filled with OTs. Of course, the match prior to this one, the Young Ninjas MIBR one,
that was
I do not envy Hazeza. That was a ridiculous match, a 2-in-1. Yeah. I think that went to about 60 rounds.
It was, I believe, is that quadruple or quintuple overtime?
I don't even know.
The fact you're seeing 30 rounds in one game is actually pretty depressing. Yeah, as you can see, I bet our producers at Pinnacle as well are slowly sweating, realizing that the day is going to get longer and longer. There are only so many hours this can go on for. Bear in mind, this is our second of the day. So, Torsey, really 8-3 in duels against Dafu. That is really looking rough, isn't it? And Shane, nice deagle play in mid there as he shuts down 2 members. He retrieves the AK, and suddenly mouz look like they might be able to do it off the back of just a force spy and save up. But Torsey, though, can he shut down Christo with the aggression coming out from ramp? Now, Christo scoped in from CT as well, has to try and take this engagement, and as he does so, he sits in position. He's got Rouse to support him, and for Lyngby Vikings, there's no real illusion here that mouz aren't going to win, but it's still just a matter of timing.
They've done it twice so far this game. The Deagle rounds, they're just so powerful here for mouz, and well, what a way to lose a round. If you're Lyngby and you end up letting this slip, you're going to be absolutely gutted. Rouse, big kill, though, accompanied by Manx. They actually bring things back into a 3-on-3. A great trade by Torsey, though, keeping the dream alive with the AWP. Shui tapping that bomb down, only 29 points of health, though, and he's not able to do so. The molly denies it before it's committed to. Zerja now has to try and have a dip at it as he taps in these digits. The name rains down on his location, does a lot of damage, but doesn't finish him off. And it's onto Torsey's shoulders here to connect. This shot does so beautifully. All down to Christo. USP out, takes the high ground. Beautiful headshot onto Torsey. Zerjan swaps out to the AWP, but he has to take a horrible shot right now. But he hits it. Swings wide with the Deagle, finishes things off. It's 16-13. And mouz win it in a round that they had no equity in. And it's all off of the back of these 2 first kills from Shane.
Insane performance from mouz there to mount quite a substantial comeback as well, and then take it against the Vikings. An incredible way to start your series, an incredible way to set the tone for the rest of this game. Remember, they have got their map pick of Mirage next, and if I were mouz, I would be rubbing my hands together mischievously thinking of how much fun this is about to be. Now, of course, we're going to go to a quick little break. When we return, we're going to see this second map, potentially final map, between mouz and Lyngby Vikings to see who's able to take who emerges victor and progress further into the Pinnacle Cup. Don't go anywhere. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back as Lyngby Vikings take on mouz NXT. This is going to be a hell of a game, actually, in which we're going to see a very, very close affair. Of course, this should be a bit of a close one. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing who wins this one, because we now move to Mirage, having seen mouz take Vertigo, the opening map of this series. Of course, I'm your Castle Kramer 3. I'm joined by the wonderful M&J, our producer Mika, our observer Migsy, and our admin Benz are going to be taking you through the next couple of hours. I hope you're all having a wonderful day, and well, in our loving, tender hands, I hope that you guys enjoy the experience. Josh, something that we always do when we start our game is our producer goes, "Okay, guys, you ready?" And of course, I always say no, because how can you ever truly be ready for, things you can never predict or account for? And so while I explain that, you always just say, "Yes, we're ready." Do you think mouz are ready for this?
No, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if they're ready.
There's the thing. That's my point. How can you ever truly be ready? But for a pistol round, Rousey shuts down Zertian to open things up. Daphne does the same. Torsey and Rousey trade, though, leaves us into the 2-on-2. Rouse already low on HP. Down to 1 HP, actually. Another 1 HP player that we see. We rarely see this, Josh, but to get things underway, let's see if they can try and follow it up. As we see a brief engagement over in B. It's burned from Sky for 1 Shane to trade. Rouse with just 1 HP now in the 1v1. He reveals himself to Shane. Will Shane be able to win the aim duel? Once again, now we've not seen one another. He taps that bomb. He holds the door, and as Rouse gets ready to swing out, there is that swing. There's a bit of damage done. And while with no kill yet, Shane, be careful here as Rouse swings out. It's close, but he's not able to win it. mouz take the pistol round as they go 1-0 up. Lyngby Vikings back to an investment.
That's a big 4K from Shane as well. I mean, Rouse is very lucky that he was left with 1 HP there. And mouz call a timeout, interestingly, after the pistol. So I'm not sure what they're going to be discussing here, but it's an interesting time for one.
It was close, I guess, for a pistol round, so it's more of a momentum preventer from Lyngby Vikings, maybe?
But it's not a Lyngby timeout.
Maybe they're doing it for Lyngby, to prevent Lyngby from getting the momentum.
I can't imagine so. I reckon it's either telling someone off or putting in like a second round strat or something. I don't know. But it's a weird time for it.
We were looking in the half-time at how football coaches kind of talk to their teams in half-time breaks. Do you think that...
I don't think Zeth counts as a football coach.
No, he
but...
absolutely does. Do you think that that would have a place in CS? Just the second the half-time break happens, the coach just starts screaming at the players.
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
You'd give it a go.
Yeah.
At half-time, you start screaming. You know how stupid we look out there. You've got all these fans watching. You've got 8-7 down. I think it'll be great. There's definitely a place for that. I think you need the right team as well. I think you need the right team.
Otherwise, they just say, shut up, muted.
Or that, or some players just go into themselves and they just tilt. And they just go quiet for the rest of the game.
I suppose, yeah. Oh, this is a weird call here from Lyngby Vikings. As soon as they've lost that B round, I mean, I agree with it. Yeah, I agree with it. It's a good call, but it's just heavy stack towards the A site. As soon as they lose B, it's like, that's it. We're getting out of there. Save call. 4 players stay alive. It means that instead of having an eco in the next, they have this forced buy again. But yeah, it just means that you let mouz NXT off with a flawless round. They'll keep all of that money going. They'll have all of that weaponry to go into the next with again. It's kind of a dangerous game to be playing economically.
That absolutely is. And for Lyngby Vikings, I quite like this. Well, I quite like this decision making. It's a tough one nonetheless because they, of course, still lost the round. That means that this round they can look pretty strong. Head armor on any of the remaining members, these Mac 10s will be pretty lethal, but it's gonna have they're gonna have a bit more effect to them. As mouz move into what actually would be another default, I wouldn't expect to see them hit anywhere too quickly just yet, but as 2 smokes are expended in mid, we might be seeing a bit of a B split come out almost instantly, actually.
As the molly goes into Con, Bird from Sky, a little bit wary right now. Christo, hard aggression here into the apartments. You might actually find a shot right now if JDC goes for this peak. They've got a player towards the bar stalls. If the peak's well timed, then Christo's in trouble, and there we go. Damage dealt, but a kill comes through from Zerjan. Mank's the only defender left on B, and he's the only man without a weapon, but the USP still finds a kill. 4 versus 2. Surely no chance here for Lyngby Vikings, but they've done a good amount of damage, especially with Rouse finding another.
Toolsy, that kill on Bird from Sky should put the brakes on this pretty quickly, but nonetheless, that was an impressive bit of damage, considering how they are just having to hold and wait. For this side, let's see what can be done as Rouse sits in position. He awaits the attack to come his way, and as he just lays coiled like a viper. I mean, a Mac 10, maybe not the gun he wants going into the next round, considering he'll be on a full buy anyway, but it's all an economic game, and in this case, that may help.
I'm surprised Rouse isn't actually going for an exit kill here. If he can take an exit, then, he gets some extra money. He actually does so, but there you go. That'll count as a suicide on our little tally sheet as he dies to the bomb. 3 on the board here for mouz NXT, and look at that Pinnacle banner popping up.
Hey,
Bet €10. Get €10. Yeah, that's what I was saying before. It seems to alter between the maps. When you sign up using code CUP21 on pinnacle.com/welcome, you're entitled to that awesome little bonus, the promotion they're running at the moment. If you bet €10 on Esports, you get €10 to straight in your wallet on the site to use on whatever you want. So yeah, definitely something worth checking out. Remember, folks, gambling is supposed to be fun and responsible, so please never bet more than you can afford, and when the fun stops, please do stop. 3 on the board here for mouz NXT. They have taken an early casualty, but they've dealt a decent amount of damage once again. And as they funnel into the B site, Dafu's the man that's called upon to defend it.
As we get ready for all this follow-up, Daffy sits behind Edward. He swings out towards Z. He's so quick, Josh, isn't he? JDC, he is low on HP from that fight, but may not matter. As Shuey shuts down Christo, there are maybe 2 members of Lyngby Vikings. I would expect to see them save here. As that bomb goes down, I actually really want to see them back off and get the hell out of there, because this isn't a strong position for all of them at all.
I don't know what Bird from Sky is doing here, because Manx has already made... Oh, he's going for the AWP. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I'll let him off. I'll let him off. Manx went for the really early save call and got out of there, and the fact that Bird from Sky was heading towards short, I'm thinking, what the hell is he doing here? But yeah, there's an AWP drop there, so definitely makes sense. He can pick that up, drop it back over to Christo next round. Christo having a bit of a rocky start here. He's going 003. And well, as we go into this 4th, mouz NXT are going to be feeling super confident right now. They've actually got several players that just haven't died yet, and that's going to be really filling them with, yeah, just a lot of confidence. Zerjan and Shane sitting on 8k. This is insane. In fact, they haven't got anyone that hasn't died. They've got 3 players that have only died once. There you go.
Pretty strong spot, isn't it? For the remaining members, though, I think that for Lyngby Vikings, this time out, it couldn't have come at a better time. I think they absolutely need it, because they're in a position where they just... This momentum loss is exactly how they lost Vertigo, where it went to a kind of close affair, then the momentum started and it was just unstoppable. And that's really where mouz excel at stringing rounds together and looking unstoppable. And in this case, Lyngby Vikings, they just got to try and mitigate it as quick as humanly possible. Otherwise, they're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, they certainly will be. As we get back underway. Full buyout once again here for the Lyngby Vikings off the back of that M4 and AWP that was saved in the last. I actually really like the fact that mouz NXT, in the scenarios where Lyngby have gone for the save calls, they've not hunted at all. It means that their economy's had a really good chance to build too. Great smoke into connector. will give some leg room for
Ooh.
Shui to work with. An incredible shot to bird from Sky, who's trying to get aggressive there. And Dafu, now that secondary prong's gone, his man that was going to be playing that crossfire has been eliminated. He has to be very, very careful. I'm not sure if he's aware that the man is actually sitting in window. Shui just below him? I don't think so.
Now, I like how, while we've been trying to weigh out the options in the ladder room, you blink and you miss it. His whole team's gone. He's got to swing into Torzi, which is a tall order. And, well, with that, the Molly forces him to the high ground, and he's still in an awkward position. We just see the run. Oh, the movement from Shui is just perfect. It's expected by Dafu, though, but he dies anyway. Great round from mouz there. And I'll tell you what, having Torzi on your team, it feels like you have, like, just a cheat. There you go. The round's a bit closer, so right, we'll give Torzi a chance. And even though he's only got 3 kills, it's the impact of them, isn't it? It's kills he shouldn't be happening. And for Shane, he's the one who's rising to the mantle here. The IGL of... Wait, is he the IGL? Is he the Shane or Shui? I think it's Shui, actually. I'll take that back.
Yeah, I think it's Shui that's IGLing as well. We kind of talked about the fact that Shui's like a young player and he's IGLing. It's pretty impressive. In fact, it's very impressive. mouz NXT, this should be their 6th. And to be honest, this is starting out very similar to what we saw on Vertigo, but the other way around. The question is, do Lyngby kind of bite back like we saw mouz do? Or do we just see this be a really, really one-sided map?
Torzi, you've seen for now. It goes into the 5 on, well, still 5 on 5, but both from Sky. Oh, he's continuing to have some cracks at it, isn't he? Takes a bit of damage first, though. So his flashes go out, fully blinded for now. The B split comes through. Manx now, the eagle of his own. Can he wield it to a significant degree here, as looks like Shane's going to be ready to swing into him, but Manx draws blood. He's traded by JDC, but Dafu 1 car. He too falls. Assertion draws blood, and with it falling to a 4-on-2, once again, Lyngby Vikings have just got to get the hell out of there. Save the odd deal where they can. Maybe try and find Shane's AK to wheel next round, but as Christo goes 0-0-4, might be going 0-0-5 after speaking on to JDC, and he does. Lyngby Vikings are really looking like they're in trouble here. Remembering that mouz already a map up, this could be a very one-sided affair.
It absolutely could be, yeah. Very little damage dealt here as well by Lyngby means that we actually see players hitting 5 figures already, and at the end of this round, we'll see the majority of them breach over that 5-figure mark. JDC, Shui, Zerjan as well. Torzi, just about, I think, too. So, yeah. Everybody with absolutely buttloads of money. Look at that. Loads and loads to work with. Now we go into round number 7, which will be another full buy here for Lyngby. But they need to win back-to-back full buy rounds, or back-to-back buy rounds, to actually break the economy here of mousesports. They've just got so much cash behind them.
It's looking pretty strong, isn't it? And at 6-0, Lyngby Vikings with a couple of M4s, few warps here or there. It's a really strong buy, but look how little money they have. And that is really proving to be their main killer here. It's the economic standpoint. Christo takes a lot of damage to Zertian there, who optimistically tries to peek out mid. While he doesn't get a kill, Dafu, deploying that nade into Connector, is able to respond with a bit of util damage. About even HP spread around the board, but as Rouse now peeks into ramp, Torzi almost ready for him in this regard, as Christo continuing to swing out from the ticket. We go to the high ground, JDC. Beautiful flash is good for the first. There's Rouse to trade. Shane to follow it up, keeping it even. But Rouse, having given his position away on ramp, is about to fall to Shane there. And instead, JDC called out as he holds Connector. Now means that Rouse, right now, purely because he's surviving, he is continuing to wreak havoc onto this position. Shane having to smoke that position in default, falls to Manx. Torzi with the bomb on his back and with a spring in his step, he's going to head straight back to B. He should be able to get a bomb plant here, but for the Vikings and a 3-on-1, I will be surprised if Torzi loses this. Oh, sorry, I won't be surprised if Torzi loses this. Well, I mean, he is Torzi, but I'll be surprised if he doesn't lose it. Oh, yeah.
Well, he's still got a chance here. He's got right on the perfect angle, ready to duel Manx right now. Kind of comes down to how Lyngby play this. By the looks of things, they're waiting for Dafu to get into position before they peek. If they make the mistake and peek too early, though, that's where things get complicated. First man in, Torzy finds him. Now he needs to be wary of apps, but he hits the second flick. Dafu now coming in from above. He thinks he's coming from short. Surely he falls to the apartments, but timing doesn't bless him. Dafu's still able to find the frag. No kit, so it's going to be tight, but he will be able to get this defuse in. And Lyngby Vikings stay alive. My goodness, that was close.
I mean, I did tell you that you shouldn't rule Torzy out. I did mean to say
accident,
that.
But yeah,
by accident. But Torzy, he is still pretty bloody good, isn't he? And I actually enjoy seeing Torzy in clutches. Now, usually as an AWPer, when you're in a clutch, you kind of cry. But in this case, I think Torzy just feels free. He gets to peek every single angle, gets a kill, awesome if he doesn't, and then switch to another. And in this case, Lyngby Vikings, very unlikely because they only have one player left as well. They still have no money at all. Christo on the glass cannon here, as he goes into under. Looks like he may have been predicted to go to under here, as both from Sky gets ready to peek from connector. He flashes off Torzy for now. Desertion. A timed flash into jungle would give him a perfect opportunity to deliver here. As the smoke goes down to CT, it means he can run out. As Christo reveals himself an under, as Shui to fall. Zertian peeks into bird from Sky, sees him coming. No kill at all, though. Instead, it's JDC to trade, keeping it into the 4-on-4. Well, the nade lands right onto Zertian. Little do they know, for mouz, this site is completely clear. Torzy still top mid with that AWP, though. Awaiting the swing into him, and as JDC gets ready to go from under. See if he can shut them down. There's bird from Sky to fall. There's the man advantage for mouz once again. And with JDC continuing to shut down members, it falls down to just a 4-on-2 for Rouse and Dafu. Not much further can be asked of them, other than to maybe hit a miracle shot wherever possible. The low HP on 2 members means that util would be perfect, but there isn't any to throw. Ooh. Dafu's to the first, Torzy to trade, all onto Rouse. As Shane, the only man with HP left, finishes the job. And just like that, mouz goes 7-1 up.
Realistically, I feel like mouz should have known that A site was clear, or at least had some indication based on the fact that there was no peek off of Zertian's contact. When Zertian took that fight over towards that jungle area, if there was somebody on the bomb site, there was somebody playing triple or something, they definitely would have swung in that scenario. 7-1, Lyngby just down to the pistols. And I said this started off the same as Vertigo, and I led the question of, will Lyngby start to bring it back? When they put that first round on the board, I thought maybe there was that chance. But now mouz, they're looking like they should be able to take 8. And at that point, they've already won the half, and they've got a really good opportunity to extend it further. Great opening shot, but it's traded instantly. Shui
good for another. It falls into the 4-on-2. And Wobber from Sky, it's a wonderful shot, actually, to assist. He doubles down there with the deagle. And low HP on JDC and Torzy. I mean, sure, the trade is there. Sure, it's very clean from Torzy. Manx still looks scary. And, well, he's tagged down in the process. Torzy, get ready to peek straight into him. There's the swing. There's the kill with the Tech 9. As mouz now make it 8. At 8-1, Lyngby Vikings having to face another investment. In this case, it's another buy, but will it be enough?
A question in my head, when you have these mixed European rosters like this, what language are they speaking? Do we reckon they're speaking English? Yeah?
Absolutely has to be English. Because there's no way they're speaking Hebrew, so Zertian, I assume he speaks English and Hebrew. Torzy, there's no way they're speaking Hungarian. So I assume he speaks English. So we don't
Hungary has their own language, yeah? It is Hungarian.
Yes, it is.
Okay, right. No, well, you laugh at that, but like they might speak Polish or something. In which case,
absolutely Hungarian. Absolutely.
Okay, Hungarian. Right. There you go.
Torzy, he's we know he speaks English. We've done interviews with him, and in Polish they're taught English in schools. So
yeah, fair enough then. All right. It's just crazy to think you have a roster of like 5 players, no native English speakers, and
I bet there was a language barrier at the start. I bet that was.
Possibly, yeah.
But I think it's very. I don't think like standard everyday conversation might be a bit of a struggle. But you need to remember, call-outs in CS are fairly universal, so they're still able to work together pretty well. And for Rouse, they're straight to full. Man advantage once again for Lyngby Vikings, and this time they have the bomb.
A big opening kill from Manx. Rouse aggression as well works very nicely, and as you say, it does merit them that C4. Lyngby might be able to take their second right now, as he's now got support as well from Bird from Sky. Secondary smoke goes up. They recognize the importance of just running down this clock. There's not much time left to work with, 35 seconds in fact, so they can just hold on to this. Even if they fall away later, it just wastes valuable time that mouz can't afford to lose.
Smoke goes off Zersh, and into CT, he gets the kill off the back of that, and was Shui able to follow it up? Goes into the 3-on-2. They don't expect the second man under Balk, though. As they kind of turn to the site, Bird from Sky is good for one. Shui, he trades into the 1v3. He's got to go for the plant, though, and as he does so, Max should swing and kill him. That he does. Lyngby Vikings make it 2. But if we can get a replay, Zersh's kill into CT there was, frankly, there's no other word to describe it other than disgusting. How on earth was he able to do that? Look at this. just deletes him. That is insane.
I mean, you love to see it. It doesn't merit them the round. It's a shame, but solid stuff nonetheless. mouz call another timeout. They're really, really utilizing their timeouts now. Really cool stuff.
I really like that. My interest would be, what did Lyngby Vikings do with this timeout? Because they've really struggled, and while that round was great, it only came off the fact that they just happened to catch out the bomb.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, in settings like this, we're online, you can't really police, like, teams not being able to talk in other teams' timeouts and things like that. But yeah, I mean, it also gives them a little break too. And after winning that last, it might give them an opportunity to talk something over. Because as you say, what they did last round wasn't massively repeatable. Going for high progression like that definitely becomes predictable. And it's not something that you can do constantly. It's something you can do once every 5 or 6 rounds to maybe catch your opponents off guard. A little bit of a wild card. Minute 25 now down onto this clock, and mouz, they're playing a very slow setup so far. Good molly, flushes out Rouse though, and look how much damage he's taken. That's unreal.
Really nice opening there, and you know, we have kickstarted an absolute battle in the chat for what language is hardest.
What language is hardest?
JDC
How
shuts
did
down
we start
Daffy.
that?
So we're talking about the language barriers.
Yeah, I
Bird
know,
from
but
Sky shuts down Shui. JDC also falls. Oh, Bird from Sky. That's a very nice 3k from the IGL of Lyngby Vikings. Now Zertian has to deliver on this flank, and while he takes out one member, gives him a chance to join Shane in the retake of Apps, and Max takes a lot of damage as well. As it falls into a 2-on-3. 35 seconds left as Shane gets ready to go through this smoke. He's got Zertian ready to go up short to assist him, but with Max on the angle, that flash gives him a chance. Bird from Sky gets the kill. There's no trade yet from Zertian as he just holds the angles. That flash will keep him back further. And for Zertian, he may just have to consider saving here as he hears them just run off. And with that, it's going to be a third for Lyngby Vikings. Tell you what, Josh, would you like to learn some Hungarian?
Go on then.
Shia Horgivagi.
Okay,
hello, how are you?
That's good. Are you sure it means hello, how are you?
Absolutely sure it means hello, how are you? I'm fairly certain I've
you
actually
don't have a very
butchered
good track record with this, so 100%.
No, there wasn't Triat who taught me that one, though. I'm pretty sure I butchered the pronunciation, but I think that's roughly how you say it. Of course, there's Pinnacle banner appears on the screen, remember, but when you bet 10 euros, it has to be on Esports. When you bet 10 euros, you then gain 10 euros back when you sign up using code CUP21 at pinnacle.com/welcome. Go give them the love they deserve for running a promotion like that, except for one that's free cash. Remember, only ever bet with what you can afford to lose, only ever bet in a fun and safe environment. Full terms and conditions do apply, but it certainly helps. And someone has kindly suggested that the Lyngby Vikings speak Vikingish.
Oh yeah, they might. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Yeah, they do
that
speak
would make
Vikingish.
sense.
Polish is a very hard language, actually. It's I mean, even in like standard words, you see Shane, that doesn't look like how you say Shane. So it's a hard language to learn. But I think once you learn the nuances of like how words are said when next to each other, it's doable. It's probably the best way to describe it.
It's wrong. The words are wrong.
We know a friend of ours is a Polish rapper. aren't they?
I know.
And looking at the lyrics of that, it's like looking at ancient text. It's incredible. Like, Polish is quite an old out language, actually, so maybe it is ancient text.
Maybe. Bird from Sky, really good read onto Shane's positioning there, though, and he's able to execute and bring it back into a 4-on-4. No trade available just yet. Bird from Sky tucked himself onto default, though. Good smoke will give him some wiggle room. If he stays on default, they're just going to be holding for him, and he's dead as soon as he peeks. But that smoke does give him space to maneuver. The issue is that he's set on someone peeking into the left. I think he's just been spotted from stairs, now being spammed away. Shuey will be able to take him out from the right-hand side, and this bomb, it will be tapped, but he's wary of the man CT, and that is just incredible. Shuey with both. Torzy watching the backside. That's the ramp flank gone, and Manx has to just go and save here. This AWP needs to be carried into the next.
Blink and you miss it. Manx, his whole team is gone, and as he goes to save that AWP, something to try and hold on to. And wow, the Hungarian viewers, they said nice try. That was nice of them. So I should absolutely isn't how you. It's absolutely how you don't say it from the looks of it, but they're supportive, and I quite like that. It's nice because learning another language is really hard, especially when you're in a lot of European countries where you're taught in school. I know this is particularly common in German schools. You're taught English from like a very, very young. In the UK, it's like you can learn it if you want, and you learn it for about 2 years. That's it. And because of that, English people find it really hard to learn other languages because you just don't know how to learn another language. Whereas in European countries, you're kind of taught how to learn a language, and then once you know how to learn one, it can become easier to learn others, which is pretty cool, I think. That's something I wish UK schools did a bit more.
Yeah, I suppose. UK schools are like really lame when it comes to like languages and things like that, and I feel like you have much more chance of learning a language at like a super young age, because we just don't really do it very well in the UK. We just get to like at my age, I really do wish I spoke multiple languages, but it's just like really hard now to learn other languages.
No, it absolutely is. And to go to a 3-on-3, we've got Shuey, who speaks the language of CS, as he just happens, and Death actually, as he happens to just spread out like that and just deal death. As Manx once again has to save without armor with an M4. I mean, that's something he can use next round, at least for now. When someone says that's absolutely not how you say it, but hey, we tried. It's I wish languages were taught better in the UK. It's a shame.
Yeah.
What language would you like to learn if you were able to learn one, Josh?
Oh, I don't know. To be honest, anything really. I mean, I know it's not the most practical, but speaking like French or German, I have lots of sort of French and German friends.
Yeah,
so...
German's are quite a good one to learn because it's very regimented.
It's quite like it's. I don't want to say easy, but it's one of the easier languages.
Yeah.
Like quite similar to English in lots of ways. I did do German at school, and like I speak like a tiny bit of German, but very badly.
Fair enough.
I just use it to get angry in Counter-Strike, to be honest.
I'm very similar to that, but in Arabic, because I love how angry Arabic can sound. Even when it isn't anything too bad. A good example of that is kelb, which it sounds like you've really got some hate behind it, but it just means dog.
Right.
but it sounds so aggressive that when you say it with actual hate behind it, it really has some passion behind it.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I always love that. Like, you always see like Spanish people and stuff, and like they'll like be shouting, and then they'll just
and stuff.
No. like on like TV, like in comedies, they'll be like shouting in English, and then they'll just like the lady on Modern Family does it all the time, and then she just like burst into Spanish, and then it just sounds like really angry.
Okay. Yeah. 3-on-3 here, and here's the thing, Josh. If mouz can go 12-3 up, that's where I think Lyngby Vikings do just accept their death. As Dafu try and So as we see the follow-up, Torzy sees him coming. As he shuts down Manx, goes for the jump spot. Caught out by Christo, who's Xerxes in the 1v2. Tries to try and cancel the bomb plant. Can he do so? Yeah, he comes off the bomb. There's the defuse cancelled. Daftu swings in. Daftu falls to Xerxes now. Can he cancel the defuse? He scopes in, switches to the M4. Out of time, though. Maybe Vikings not quite able to make it 4, but it's pretty close. And do you have the chat open, Josh?
No.
Okay, someone has asked us to pronounce this. Now, I want you to have a go before I have a go.
Oh, bloody hell.
It's Polish, I'm not sure you can tell.
Grzegorz Brzezikizi. That is such a massive word.
Yeah, it's Grzegorz Biecki. That's how you say it. I actually know that last word for a very long time was my brother's PC password. So
right.
I know how to say it. I just can't mimic it.
Right.
So okay. I hope when the stream delay catches up, I hope that was close. I'll be very happy if it is. That actually make my day completely. For a 4-on-5, Christo shuts down Xerxes. And as it goes into this 5-on-3, there's Dafu spotting out Shui, who has to try and rotate from apps. And he is just making a delay at the moment. While he is killed, Raul's now in Palace, mollied out of position. He can't follow it up, though. It means the bomb's going to go down. And for Torzy, we're going to see what Torzy does best, and that's aggression into CT. JDC falls. Torzy, uncharacteristic miss, means he has to swing into bird from Sky. He's punished for it. And for Lyngby Vikings, that'll become 5. So they still have something behind them. It's still doable, but they're still down and by quite a distance.
Well, we see that little banner again. Pinnacle, bet €10, get €10. They're running a promotion at the moment. So if you think you know your stuff, head over to pinnacle.com/odds or pinnacle.com/welcome. Find the latest in-play offerings for this game here and any other game in the Pinnacle Cup. And when you bet €10, you get €10 when you sign up using code CUP21. Remember, betting... I can't do it without sneezing. Remember, I was holding in that sneeze the whole time, and I was like, I might be able to get to the end.
You can get to the end of this readout.
I couldn't. Remember, betting should be done in a fun and safe environment. Only bet what you can afford. Full terms and conditions apply. I like that smoke cam. That's pretty cool. We get to follow that.
That was really cool. As a follow-up comes through, JDC onto 1, Bird from Sky able to trade, and Bird from Sky able to double down. To tell you what, the IGL of Lyngby Vikings, he is really leading from the front at the moment. Torzy, he's good for 1. He can't cancel the bomb plant, though. He's very messy as he can't cancel the bomb plant. And as it falls into the 3-on-2, Shui has to try and get this first kill onto Bird from Sky if they want any hope in this retake. As they push out, they see the first member. Raul's able to shut him down. Shane left in the 1v3. He knows very well where Bird from Sky is, and eventually he gets the kill. And with the smoke and kits, it's a very doable round for him. However, as Rouse kills him, he isn't even able to deploy it. With that, maybe Vikings, they make it 6. They said, nice try, casters.
Nice try.
Yeah, but it wasn't close at all.
Unbelievable.
I wish I'd read the nice try before they posted that it wasn't close at all.
Well, Lyngby, they put themselves back on the board. 6 down, so 10-6. Maybe a chance, maybe a lifeline for them to get back into this one. JDC aggressive with this Deagle down in underpass. I'm kind of worried for Lyngby right now, because we've seen just how powerful mouz can be with these Deagles in hand. But that's a nice opener from Manx. Even at range with that Mac 10, he hits the headshot.
Lyngby Vikings actually looking like they might be able to mount a bit of a comeback here, as mouz already a man down. Means that we're going to see the 7th from Lyngby if they can keep this up. And against the Eco, safe to assume it will be 8. And at that point, it's really, really very close. As Rouse holds position. He follows it up now. As he just waits in position. He prays that Fidel's timing will favour him. As the engagement comes through. Torzy will be the one called into action over on B. He does have the stack though, so mouz definitely in the right place. Question is, do they have the right timing? Because that Molly forces Torzy out of position. He now just hides in this point. Not quite swinging yet. It's Christo to get the first. Is there a trade? And eventually they reveal themselves. Shui good for another. Shui good for two. Shui on for three. But Defu finishes the job. The exertion in a 1v3 of his own. Manx on just 3 HP in this endeavor as Raoul's finished the job. Lyngby Vikings make it 7 now. With only 3 away from mouz against the full eco. This should be a relatively close round now. A very close game, actually. As Lyngby, they show life.
Well, this was absolutely huge from Shui. Of course, once again, it doesn't merit them the round, but more damage dealt and less money now in the side of Lyngby Vikings because of his little fiasco at the end there. Big old stack towards this A bomb site, a couple of premium pistols in play. Lyngby, though, not funneling into anything. You see, they're just going for this default. They're taking mid-control. They'll feel around for this information. Soon, I'm sure they'll realise that there's either a stack in place on the A site or that B's completely empty. And they will just kind of lean elsewhere. Dafu could be a casualty here, though. If he gets greedy, if he goes for a peek right now.
And with an AK, you never know. mouz might be able to do something with this round. Torzy. Oh, the timing is just perfect. He goes for a follow-up. Dafu seen in the process, and neither really want to peek into one another, so they allow just the clock to run down a little bit as Torzy backs off. We see Dafu in kind does the same, and while he does deploy the odd bit of util, it means that Torzy just has to play a bit more passive. He heads back down to Connector, where he'll be accompanying Shane with a defense into mid. Unfortunately, Lyngby Vikings, once they just go plant on B, it will be a matter of just getting exits wherever possible.
Really slow stuff here. They have found themselves onto the B site, and JDC. He's let him walk straight past. This could be huge as he walks into kitchen. Christo. Oh, he is lucky to be alive there. JDC just narrowly missing. Takes a headshot from Manx through the wood. I'm pretty impressed that Zerjan was able to find a kill earlier, with Shui following up there too. Once again, it's damage dealt. Surely no round on the cards here. Shui grabs himself a Gallo. He's diving in for the clutch right now, but the lack of Kevlar really does punish him as he takes the fight. And Bird from Sky is able to finish things off onto Zerjan. So another good round there from Lyngby as they close this gap further.
Really strong performance now, and they're looking pretty damn ruthless on the T side here from Lyngby Vikings. They also are part of the Pinnacle. They're still down by quite a way. Bear in mind it's because they're a map down, and well, mouz are still in the lead. If they win this round, I see this potentially pushing us to a third. It would be very surprising, but it absolutely could be our groundwork for a third.
This is shaping up very, very similar to Vertigo. Obviously, we had the 10-5 half instead of the 8-7, but still, dominant lead from the team whose map pick it is, and then from that point forward, it's been a much closer game. You see the comeback. We see Lyngby really, really showing life here. Are they able to continue this kind of pressure, though? Or will we see mouz take control once again? Big guns are out here for the first time on the CT side. mouz have actually got some tools to work with. And I feel like they've been doing a lot of damage just with the pistols. So now they've got the rifles in hand. This is really their chance to take the reins once again.
Let's see if it's something they can execute. And Lyngby Vikings, a very slow start means they're definitely hoping for some timing here. It's Torzy, knowing it's coming, just sits in place, allows that clock to be run down a little bit. For now, as you see the follow-up coming, that molly goes off, it keeps them back. The remaining members of mousesports, they hear the control in mid, but they know full well they don't even have to move. Yeah, with 35 seconds left, they've still got their hold. There's still a question mark as to where Lyngby Vikings will be going. And with the bomb being committed to B, it's not revealed itself yet, though, but the double molly setup will wreak havoc onto JDC, but it doesn't land in the right place. Now with Zerjan rotating to short, JDC, he sees it's clear, he sees them run away, he knows it's going to be a hit onto A, and while Rouse is good for the entry, there's Shui to trade. Eventually there's the follow-up. Zerjan getting the bomb down in mid, though, means that timing may be what finishes off Lyngby Vikings here, and with 8 seconds left, 7, 6, yeah, they're out of time. Like that, we're going to see a round 1 by Lyngby, or by mouz, of the merits of Lyngby Vikings just timing themselves out there. A really, really messy round, and a bit of a blunder.
Well, I mean, It is, isn't it? It's a textbook mistake. They've just run down the clock too low. I really don't know how they've let that happen. And at a time like that as well, maybe not the worst time for it, but not far from it. We see that Pinnacle banner pop up again. Remember, folks, bet 10 euros or, yeah, bet 10 euros, get 10 euros. That's the one. Yeah, it has to be on Esports, and please bet responsibly, but definitely a promotion worth checking out at Pinnacle. If you go to pinnacle.com/welcome, sign up using code CUP21. Minute 35 on this clock now, and Lyngby leaning towards the B side of things, but taking a bit of a hit in that last round. Of course, they keep a couple of players alive, so it does give them some extra money, but Raoul's only down to a Deagle. Shane, aggressive in Palace, might be able to catch out Dafu. This would be huge.
We see this follow-up now. That kill is just going to give so much momentum to mouz now. Torty holding connector, sees the follow-up. Christo falls as it goes into a 4-on-3. What can be done in defense now? As Buff from Sky comes up short. It's a nice kill on desertion, but as he sees these members, he's just swarmed from all angles. Manx, C2 gets out to back sight, and while he's good for one, unfortunately, he needs more than one, as there's still a man down, and with his location known, it's only a matter of time before he falls. If Rouse falls as well, then they just don't have the bomb. There you have it. Without the bomb, JDC finishes the job. mouz now go 12-8 up, and for Lyngby Vikings, it's down to an eco.
(12-8). mouz starting to take control again. No money here for Lyngby to work with, so 2k in the bank really is textbook, like eco territory. Could mean 13 right now, as you know, for mouz, you can see I'm having a little bit of a discussion here. What can they do to try and turn this one back in their favour? I think that's Coach Cyclone there. I'm not 100% sure.
I was trying to figure that out earlier. I think it is Coach Cyclone.
You can see they're just focused, though, listening to him give his insight. He gets to watch the game from his back seat, and then at times like this, that's his little moment to step in and provide his insight.
I'm interested to see what mouz can do with this position now, as Torzy holding mid is going to look for an entry, and Rouse won't oblige him, at least just yet, as the Vikings prepare straight execution to B. It's actually a very fast execution at that. JDC does a lot of damage. Max, another 1 HP player, tries to cover the distance. He falls. Dafu, he meets the same fate as JDC. He's not really supported by Zershin here, who just, unfortunately, was timed by every man he tried to fight. Torzy, though, holding the cross of his teammate. He's after Bird from Sky. As he's dispatched, mouz, they hit 13, only losing a single member.
Really solid stuff again there for mouz. In an eco, I mean, 1 kill's like kind of your break-even point. They'll be relatively happy with that one. As we go into this 22nd, though, that's where things start to maybe get a little bit funky, as Lyngby now, again, don't have any money. Of course, they went for that buy in the last, so 1 kill maybe not enough. Torzy, up in play, hits the jump into mid. It would be huge ordinarily if someone was going for the peak, give him a nice off angle to work with, but no one peeks in this time. Instead, it's that slow default around the map. mouz could be on for 14 rounds here, and at that point, how do Lyngby pull it back?
Shane, ready for the follow-up. He ready to peek into one of these members as Christo. Peeks in, gets the kill. Shane taken down as it falls into a 4-on-5. Let's see what can be done from the members of Lyngby. Desertion. Top this position. Keeps it even with a quick kill. That nade going off. Rals just has to hide for now. So we'll wait the follow-up. Swings in. Zershin, while Messi is able to get the kill. As JDC gets ready for a follow-up. There's the kill onto Christo, when as it falls into this 4-on-2 now, JDC in a bit of trouble as he tries to follow it up. There's a quick kill, all to both from Sky to 1 versus 4. He's quickly picked off, and for Zershin, that dispatchment makes me think that it's almost a dying breath from Lyngby Vikings here. We haven't really seen anything in these last couple of rounds.
We actually haven't, yeah, and I feel like that economically, they've almost screwed themselves a little bit here. They've put themselves in a position where they've lost a couple of rounds that they kind of didn't need to. They could have taken an eco much earlier, and yeah, just kind of scrapped those 2 force buys that they went for. We could have seen them playing in a position right now where instead of it being 8-14, could have even been 9-12, 10-12. They could have a real shot at this. Shane close up, ready to take the duels. Shui and Torzy to find the openers, and I think this might be game, set, and match here. Kremer, and that's Rouse.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness.
We do have the bomb, though, from mouz. Rouse now on for the ace if he wants any hope here. As he makes his way across from a triple, he turns his attention down to CT. He gets ready for this follow-up. Will he be able to get this kill? Will he be able to hold this position? And as he does so, taking this peek, JDC the man to watch out for. As he tries to cross. Timing not favouring him as Shui. He finishes the job. It's 15 for mouz, and for Lyngby Vikings, it's only downhill from here. They need to win a good 7 rounds on the bounce if they want any hope of taking this to overtime.
It's a big moment there for Rouse, isn't it? He kind of steps up, makes some big play. You think, oh, maybe there's a chance here. And then, yeah, it just starts to go horribly wrong, doesn't it? Really solid stuff there from mouz. 15 here, 16 definitely on the cards. This would be a hell of a series for them. I mean, they've had a great time since forming as a roster so far, but yeah, this would be a really solid performance.
It would mean that in their, since their conception of a team, they would have only lost 1 game. Bear in mind, the parents, mouz Sports, are playing as well. So, right now, the mouz brand is out in full capacity today. And as they play at the same time, the mouz Academy is the one that I think is about to win first, which I think is hilarious, as we've got Zershian sitting behind Edward. There are many members of Lyngby Vikings, of course, in mid, get ready for their flank onto way, but Dafu, his position, it seems almost suspected for the most part. Manx is revealed in window, but as Shade falls, Dafu might give a glimmer of hope to the members of Lyngby Vikings. That is until Torzy reveals himself, keeping the man count even. Manx on just 14 HP, trying to hold jungle for now, and while they'll be able to do so, JDC ready to flank. Torzy, clean kill onto Rouse there, leaves us into that follow-up as Max falls. It's all onto Christo in a 1v3. While he peeks from short, he sees the bombs clear. The second he does so again, that smoke goes down. There's the tap, and while he's damaged, there'll be the kill. Like that, mouz, they take map 2, 16-8, and look at that, JDC. He's going to be pretty damn happy he won that. As with that, mouz, an incredible game, and honestly, a very, very strong map to win.
My goodness, Shui's still looking laser focused. Alrighty. But yeah, Torzy, big smile on his face. You can see what that means to him. He had a fantastic game, and he should be very, very happy. Now, do we... Oh, I thought we were going to take a little switch to look at the Swiss stage bracket or something, but no, you get to continue looking at our faces. A really solid match. mouz Sports, massive comeback on Vertigo. Very impressed there. I actually wasn't expecting them to take Vertigo at all. The fact that they won it is just great. And then Mirage is just a good old mouz Sports Mirage. Great performance. They were looking fantastic. And these guys, I am so excited for the future of this team. I think these guys could definitely be a top 50 by the time the next HLTV rankings update, and I think they could definitely push themselves into a top 30 side in the next few months if they continue.
I'm really ready to see.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm very excited to see where they can go, but that does put them. Bear with me. Where does that put them? That puts them 2-1 in the Swiss stage, of course, because they lost against Skade. So that puts them 2-1 in the Swiss stage, and that means they only need 1 more win to get out of this one and bag themselves a spot in the playoffs. Unfortunately, though, that does mean that for the Lyngby Vikings, they're now 1-2. They're in a dangerous position.
They are. Absolutely are. And it means that they can be punished at any given moment by any of the remaining teams in that 2-1 bracket. So... or in that 1 or 2 bracket, sorry. So this is going to be a really, really close Swiss stage, actually, and I'm really looking forward to seeing who wins it and who progresses, because I reckon mouse sports are going to be amongst those that do. Of course, that's all from me and Josh, though. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. I've been your caster at Crema 3. I've been joined by the wonderful producer of Mika, of course, our observer of Meeksy, and our admin of Benz. Of course, I'm pretty sure the three of them are going to be continuing, while we're replaced by casters who are probably way better than we are. So you can look forward to that. We'll be back in a bit, though. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow. You all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.